text. It's January Girl. Remember January Girl? She was the first girl I found attractive. Back in January, they sent me a text. That's a good way to start the day. Hello, welcome to Single Again for the first time. This is podcast 8, Black Hole. I'm Vincent Truman, this is Chicago, Illinois, and it's also April 7th, 2013. Getting a little warmer, just a little bit. It's good. I'm going to start out with something that made me laugh. I had a spontaneous date with a lady last Wednesday, and it was very funny. And but I can sum it up best with the text that she sent me afterwards. I just have to share this. This is great. The text reads, "Thanks for not raping and or murdering me. Although I don't know why you'd murder me without raping me first. I know I'd be insulted. Like, oh, you'll murder me, but I'm not good enough to rape first? Thanks, asshole. Now I get to die feeling insecure." Best text ever. Okay, OKCupid. I'm on OKCupid. You can find me on OKCupid, even though I don't know why you'd want to do that. Last week, a girl friend of mine wrote me and said, "I didn't know you had a twin." And I'm like, "I don't have a twin." And she's like, "You have a twin." And I'm like, "I don't have a twin." So she sends me this link to this profile called Atheist Burger Man. And it's my pictures. It's my fucking pictures. And a profile that kind of sounds like me, but not quite me, says, "Hi, I'm semi-educated, and I'm looking for a equal, not a princess, not somebody to save. I have a lot of bicycles and like shiny gadgets," which is, it's close to me, but it's not me. So a couple of girl friends on OKCupid that I write to now and again, and I reported it, so it's gone now. But the weird thing was, it was just a week ago, maybe a little bit longer, where on OKCupid they give you people you might want to meet. You know, they kind of have a little section for that, and in it was my ex-wife, and I'm like, "Thank you, OKCupid, for keeping up on current events. That's awesome." And there was a little Q&A section. You can answer a bunch of questions and what have you to find your appropriate match. And the question that I could read was, what is the level of education you would like your partner to have? And my ex-wife's answer was, "Oh, well, you must have at least finished high school." Way to keep the bar low. So after Atheist Burger Man was deleted, I started thinking, could that have been her? Could I have shown up on her people you want to meet feed or whatever? And could she be like trying to take the piss? Could she be fucking with me a little bit? Now, it's not out of the realm of possibility. In August of last year, oh, you should have been there for that, she went on this tour of all of our mutual friends that were hers first and became friends of mine. Saying, watch out for Vincent. I don't trust his motivations. Just be careful. Like high school bullshit like that. Just completely socially retarded behavior. And these people would tell me that Jennifer had done that, and I would just write back and I would just say, just let her go. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that much. And in December 2012, I had put out a memoir of my experiences getting divorced, and she sued me over it. She said, "Well, you had begun writing this when we were together, so that's a hidden marital asset, so I want money." Total class act all the way, right? So yeah, I just pulled the book. It wasn't all that important. It was more important that I'd written the book than put it out there, and honestly, the last thing I would want would be for that book to take off, and then I'd be on some book tour for the next 5 years talking about it. You can quote me on that. And there were things in the profile that were a little zingy. The semi-educated reference. That's a little zingy. Nobody describes himself that way. Looking for somebody not to save. This was a theme in our early years. She kept on saying, you have to stop trying to save people. People, just stop it. Mentioning I have a lot of bikes. Not many people know that. Jennifer knows. But then, I gathered all that together and I came to a really good conclusion. And that conclusion is this. I don't care. I don't care if it was her. I don't care if it was somebody else. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really fit into my life. And this analysis that I was just telling you about is part of the black hole. That is the danger of moving on after a huge relationship that admittedly meant the world to me. It's so easy to just get sucked into a whole labyrinth of what ifs, why ifs, how ifs, where ifs, if she had done, well, why did she, and I think I accurately conveyed that with how I just described it right now. It's just like this spaghetti of nowhere leading sauce. That analogy started out good. I'm going to have to work on it. So, even though this past relationship is a part of my DNA, which is something I discussed in another podcast, and it's part of who I am now, it's part of my life experience, it's a big part, falling into the black hole accomplishes nothing. It achieves nothing. So, how do you avoid the black hole, which is always willing to take you on a ride? The answer I have found is the creation of new memories that just belong to me. I used to hate kind of coming into my house because it used to be in our house, and then it became a museum of missing pieces. So I started painting, I started doing wood staining and varnishing, and now the shape of the house is changing, and now it's mine. I'm running a lot, I'm lifting weights, I'm doing yoga, I'm doing like those physical things, none of which I particularly enjoy, but they're good for the mind and they're good for the body, and more importantly, they're all new memories, things that only I do, that don't have a connection to that former relationship. I'm doing these podcasts for similar reasons. I'm branching out and finding new friends, new kind of like networks of people who are interesting. And they're all mine. And none of them say, "Do you talk to Jennifer?" And that works fine for me. I'm becoming much more of an artophile, going to galleries and stuff like that. I'm trying new performance methods in the storytelling realm, which is good for me. And I'm just getting out. Some days I just go out in no particular direction. And I'll find a new restaurant or a new thing or started the podcast out. This is kind of spontaneous, but it's pulling it around full circle with that text from January Girl. And I have full intention to take January Girl on the town. And none of those places, none of those activities will be formally shared memories. Not a one. Having said all that, I get that it's not as easy as, whoa, new memories. I'll go out there and create new memories then. It's not as easy as that, and I get that. But just like healthier living, it's essential to your body's health, your mind's health, your self-esteem, and it also gives you, in this case, it gives you a buffer between who you are now and where you came from. And it keeps at bay that black hole, which is always saying, come play with us. Yeah, it's like the twins in The Shining.
Come play with us, Danny, forever and ever and ever.
It's like that, and the end game is pretty much the same. Okay? Coming up to the end of the podcast here, I just want to thank you for listening, and I'm particularly grateful for the private messages that I'm getting from women and men alike who are just starting on this journey. I'm glad I could impact some folks positively. That means a lot to me. So thank you very much. And that's the end of this one. So until we talk again, auf Wiedersehen, baby. Auf Wiedersehen.